My people, everyone, how in a day today? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending for where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media. My people, there is genocide in Nigeria, the genocide of the Christians, and the whole world are panicking. Today, the Fulani Kabal, they are saying no. God have mercy. They are saying that's not true. They are saying the Christians are buying and the Muslims are buying. So the question is, who is doing the buying? If Christian they buy, Muslim they buy, now who they do the buying? That's the LCM. That's the mathematics I want us to solve. But unfortunately, to my Yorubas, you know, some of you are making mistake. The ones who are Muslims on the Yoruba side, you are making the same mistake of the one they call Usman Dan Fodio. So please, here's Seun, our guy, Seun Kuti, the son of the great fella, and Kuti. All right, hear what he's saying here as he opened the nyash of the Yoruba Muslims when they align towards the Fulani Kabal, saying there is no genocide of Christians in that so-called Nigeria. If you're not ready, make you hear this one. He sweet well. He came out and he put them in their place. When you hear them.
Why is Ilori a Muslim? Why does Ilori have emir? If you Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, if Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, how did the Yoruba people lose Ilori?
No. Hold on for me. It's hot though. Are you ready to hear this one? Because you see, I keep saying this to the Yorubas. I keep saying this. You guys must draw a land or a line on the sand. Because if this thing come, if this Sharia come, now the Muslims will be Yoruba for Yoruba land, go introduce them. And there will be an internal implosion, an internal war. The way it happened during the time of Usman Dan Fodio, Alemi, Usman Dan Fodio, they thought they were friends until the children of Alemi, the first son they call Abdul Salami, now he come talk say he is now the leader of Yoruba land. Now through him when Emir come enter for Ilorin. Until this day, Ilorin now has Emir. So make we fall back, relax. Hear them again from our brother. He kept it real. This is the first time I'm hearing this. Ngwa, go on. Listen. Let's go.
A Muslim, why does Ilori have emir? If you Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, if Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, how did the Yoruba people lose Ilori to Islam, to the Islamists? Why is there an emir in it? Okay, it is long ago. Oh yeah, give us Ilori back. If it is long ago, remove your emir from Ilori. Why is the emir still in Ilori? Don't we know that Ilori is Yoruba land? Why is your emir still there?
Yes.
Can you remove your emir from Ilori, please? After you tried to kill us in Southwest 2 times, you tried to exterminate us, we defeated you in battle. You are not using our victory against you that subdued you. You Yoruba traitors that went with Afonja and the Muslims. Do you want me to tell you your stories, Yoruba Muslims?
Hey.
Do you want to know your story? That you are the ones that went with fought behind Afonja with the Muslims to try and destroy Yoruba land on behalf of Islam.
Listen.
And Northerners that you all gather here today. Oh, Muslims will gather around and be saying we want to remove ourselves from Northern. When you are the people that brought Islam into our lives, try to kill us and steal everything we have for the Northerners, you Yoruba Muslims. Why are Yoruba Muslims not like the Northern Muslims? Because you kicked your ass. We beat the living daylight out of you.
Yes.
We beat you very well. That till today,
Totally
misbehave. We beat you very well.
Really?
That's why Yoruba Muslims cannot misbehave. They were dealt with. They understand what it means to try and fuck with us over here.
Hey.
We dealt with them. That's why you don't do anything. Don't act like you are better than the Northern Muslims. You're not better. You just don't have the clout. You don't have the power. You don't have the numbers to play that your game here. So Yoruba Muslims, be quiet while I'm talking to your Northern brothers. You are the same as them. Go to Iloni and see the way you behave there. Go to Ilorin, they're cutting people's hair. These people, they just cut your hair on the street. Say because you have afro. Why will you have afro? Islam is a problem. We have to address it. Anyway, let me read from the Quran. So not from the Quran, but translations.
Hold on, so will the year now say even Hizbah don't enter Ilorin? I never knew that too. I was counting the 12 states, the 12 northern states that practice Sharia. I was thinking those were the only states when Hizbah day. Hizbah police means Sharia police. Hizbah police means Sharia police. Him just talk say, then they cut people hair for Ilorin. Hey, Yoruba. This problem. Hey, God. Internal implosion. Because from the beginning of time, there was no Islam in Yoruba land. But I go talk the story again. Make our brother finish. My main guy, Seun Kuti. Make we hear and finish. And I will come talk the history of Afonja and Alimi. Because the mistake when he make, it is still ongoing now. And I hope, say, the Biafran so-called Eastern governors, Southeastern governors, I hope, say, they go learn from the mistake of Afonja. Because today, as we speak, hope Uzodinma don't make the same mistake. Dave Umahi don't make the same mistake. Wike, to an extent, he is treading along the line of making the same mistake. So we go look that one after, but make we hear the story finish. Let's continue. Listen. Now he wants to preach or read some, some chapters in the Quran in English. Even me, when I hear this one, say, fear catch me. Make una hear him. Listen.
From the Quran,
Take it back. Listen.
To play that your game here. So Yoruba Muslims, be quiet while I'm talking to your northern brothers. You are the same as them.
Hey.
Go to Ilorin and see the way you behave there. Go to Ilorin, they're cutting people's hair. These people, they just cut your hair on the street.
Hey.
Say because you have afro. Why will you have afro? Islam is a problem. We have to address it. Anyway, let me read from the Quran. So not from the Quran, but translations. Let me read translations from the Quran. About what this God thinks of us. The unbelievers, the infidels, the kafirs. I mean, how can these people say you are when you have this kind of words, to describe people that don't agree with you? Listen. Infidel. I mean, that one too is not in the Quran. There's a politics, there's a game here. We, the people, are trapped in the middle. Arabic imperialists, European imperialists. Everybody siphoning, stealing, drawing blood out of Africa. Using African people as the scapegoat. Okay. It is the same whether or not you forewarn them, the unbelievers. They will have no faith. Quran 2, chapter 6. God will mock them, God will mock them and keep them long in sin, blundering blindly along. 2:15. A fire whose fuel is men and stones awaits them. Quran 2:24. They will be rewarded with disgrace in this world and with grievous punishment on the day of resurrection. Quran 2:85. God's curse be upon the infidels. Hey. Quran 2:89. They have incurred God's most inexorable wrath and ignominious punishment awaits them. Hey. Quran 2:90. God is the enemy of the unbelievers. Hey. Quran 2:98. The unbelievers among the people of the book, Christian and Jews that is, and the pagans, we resent that any blessing should have been sent down to you from your Lord. Quran 2:105. They shall be held up to shame in this world and sternly punished in the hereafter. Hey. Quran 2:114. Those to whom we have given the book and who read it as it ought to be read truly believe in it. Those that deny it shall assuredly be lost. Hey. Quran 122. We shall let them live a while. See, this is tolerance. This is the tolerance they talk about.
Listen now.
Listen to it. We shall let them live a while, and then shall drag them to the scourge of the fire.
Hey.
That's why they burn people after they kill them. Evil shall be their fate. You know. Now, before I continue, let me even continue. Let me keep giving you.
Hold on, my brother. It's too much. They shall let them live for a while, and then drag them to the fire. That reminds me of the story of Deborah, our sister, who was thanking Jesus that she passed her exams. After they beat her black and blue, she was lynched. She was in a coma, despite being at the point of death. Coma. Blood all over her body. Slow death. They still poured fuel on her and light her up in fire. To the Yorubas, you see, this problem, you guys are calling this politics, but when you look deep inside, those who are calling it politics, they are all Muslims. FFK, I want to believe he is a Muslim who is pretending. Tinubu is a Muslim man. Don't tell me his wife is a Christian. Show me his first wife. Because this man, they will do anything for politics. They will marry somebody from the moon just to win some political votes from the moon. His first wife was Al-Hajja. An Al-Hajja. You see, to the Yorubas, you know, your problem is a bit complex. In a sense, to call a spade. Some of the so-called pastors who own those mega churches in Nigeria now, for Lagos, all those places, the Yoruba pastors. I've been saying this for a while. I want you all to challenge me on this. Most of them, they were young Islamic clerics. I repeat, they were young Islamic clerics. It means that they were young boys that when, in fact, they were students in Islam. Young boys that when they teach, when they were young. Then in the 80s, as soon as IBB enrolled Nigeria into the IOC, the Islamic something committee, or whatever they call it, or the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Countries, something like that, when he enrolled Nigeria, when he added Nigeria to it, their first task is to curb the insurgents, the flow, the rise of Catholicism and Anglican Church, what you call the Church of England. So some pastors now that you have who are great now, your GOs, Daddy GO, Mommy GO, they were Islamic clerics. In the 80s, they begin claim say they are now born again. They now changed to born again Christians. And suddenly, they had money to open churches all across Nigeria. But mainly for Yoruba land side. So the advent of Pentecostal churches to compete against Catholicism and the rest of them emerged from the 80s. And we only name two names. I've been naming one name for a long time. Pastor Tunde Bakare. Go and do a research on him. You see me, I'm somebody that call a spade. Pastor E.A. Adegboye. Go and do a research on him. And you will know that what I'm saying is a fact. Their sole intention is to open what they call Pentecostal churches or Protestant churches. They are protesting. It's like a political party in the Christendom. Protesting against what? Catholic Rome. Protesting against Anglican Church, Church of England in England. Italy and Britain. Italy and England. Both of them have a role to play. But some of you don't see this. So now as we speak, Protestant churches, Pentecostal churches, they are now as large as well as the Catholic Church you have in Nigeria or whatever. But guess what? They are so-called pastors who don't retire. They start from normal pastor to GO, to daddy GO, to grandfather GO. They don't retire. Unlike priests that they get to one stage, they retire and a new priest come to continue in their so-called, gospel or whatever. They don't retire. They are aligned with the caliphate. When they came with their so-called stuff, you saw what they did to Goodluck Jonathan. They all supported, they all protested against Goodluck Jonathan, a Christian, to call a spade a spade. Today, in a Muslim ticket, they ain't speaking about it. In fact, some of them are saying, God has told me, in the name of God, I will be president. A man of God that claimed he was called by God to preach and spread the good news. Suddenly, they are coming for political offices to be president. Now you understand where I'm going. So the mistake of Afonja brought in Islam into the Yoruba land. I call it spade a spade. The mistake of Afonja, when you look at the story, exactly what is happening now is what happened then. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Seun, let me see your face very well. Exactly what is happening now was what happened to Afonja during that time. Because Afonja had a land, a community with his own people, but his eyes, they outside. His eyes was outside. He was envious of those around him. Then suddenly, a Fulani headman or a headsman or a headman, one of them with his men, his family, they were roaming around the greener pasture towards the Yoruba land for what is now known as Kwara State. But they came from Kaduna to Kogi, they were now cutting into Yoruba land, Kwara. Their intention is to get to where? To Oyo, to eat those green land vegetation. So when they got to the community of Afonja, they now tell them, say, come, please, our cows here, they would like to eat the grass. During those days, what they do is, before you plant, you see, they've forgotten their science, but as a historian, when you study the history of these headsmen, you will understand, say, at first, people were calling on them to come for a service free of charge. During those days, the service they render is when you are about to plant for your farm, you will now call on headsmen to come chop the grass of your land. That way, when the cows, they stay there, chop. Technically, they are weeding out the grass from that farm or that farmland. So when they don't chop the grass finish, for you now to now clear the land go day easier for you. So Afonja, in this case now, Alimi was coming. Alimi was a warrior. He had his headsmen, his slaves, his soldiers, his warriors. They all came towards the pastoral area where Afonja was staying. Let me break this story down so that you will understand the mistake you guys are making now. So when they came to Afonja, they greeted him, Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. We have come. Is it okay for us to bring our cow to chop your grass? During those days, as they chop the grass, you go make them food. They are two washing kafa. You go do them, their joro drink, all those things. While they are drinking, the cow go to chop. They also cook their own food, do their green tea, their lemongrass tea, their green grass tea. They will be eating those things while the cow will settle in your land and eat the grass as much as possible. So during that time, they were now discussing with Afonja. He said, oh, these are his warriors. So he was telling him his war stories. Alimi was telling Afonja his war stories. Out of greed, Afonja can say, come, this is you are telling me and your warriors, they look very, very strong. Instead of you to go somewhere else, why don't you probably stay here now. I have a lot of land, but this my neighbors here. Let's find a way to come together, create an alliance to deal with our neighbors here. If you deal with them for me, with your men, then I'll give you some land to settle in. It was a deal that was agreed. An MOU was signed between Alimi, the Fulani man, and Afonja, the Yoruba man. Over time, Alimi went to bring more of his headsmen. They settled in the community, in the land of Afonja, in pretense as if their cows were still being active. Like a ranch. That was the game they were playing then. Then suddenly, from that community, they sprung an attack. They dealt and killed all those within the communities, the other communities, the other ones, the real people. They ran away towards Oyo. So the Oyo you are seeing now, to call a spade, their main location was where? In Ilorin. But they had to run towards that area. So the Oyo you are seeing now is a new Oyo state. The real Oyo, the Alafin of Oyo, those things, they came from Kwara, Ilorin. So when Alimi come by those guys, the other ones, they ran away. Afonja and Alimi now took over the whole communities. They lived in peace, in harmony, but problem was brewing. According to some books, some historians said, after the victory, within scores of years, 12 years or 24 years, they said Alimi come poison Afonja. He was quiet. When they inquired him after some few years, the son of Alimi, known as Abdul Salami, the first son of Alimi, known as Abdul Salami, can rise up, say he is now the strongest man in that Kwara state. Ilorin, he is the strongest. Say now he's supposed to become the leader for that place. That's one school of thought. The other school of thought said no. Say they were best of friends. They enjoyed their loot. The same way FFK is saying that there is a mutual understanding between the Yorubas or the Southwest and the North. They believe that Alimi and Afonja, they became best of friends. Their family, they intermarried and they became together. They worship the same God, the same religion, Allah. From Afonja now, Islam now came in, technically, a strand of Islam came in into the Yoruba land. Now, at old age, when Alimi passed away, Afonja passed away, the children of Afonja and Alimi can begin grow up. As they can grow up, that was when problem can start. Because don't forget Alimi, the Fulani man, Alimi has warriors or soldiers, as you will call them now. And now his first son, known as Abdul Salami, quote me on these things. Quote me. The first son of Alimi, his name is Abdul Salami. He was the general of the warriors or the general of the soldiers. So when those two men don't buy enough for old age, him can rise up and say the way things are going now. Say he is supposed to be the leader, the head of Ilorin. The Yorubas, they can say, no, it's not possible. You guys, don't forget, you are visitors. It's against our culture. So please, it won't be possible. The new head must come from the Yoruba side. Him can't say no. Absalami said no, say going forward. Anybody when they're strong to fight him, let them come to the battle and fight him. That the strongest man will be the one to rule Ilorin. And before you knew it, there was some tension, fighting, and before you knew it, the real ones who should have been the leaders, the Obas or whatever, they had to run away again. Alimi, son, Abdul Salami, become the head. And the language would have to change because they don't use Oba in their own language. It is Emir. So he became the ruler and the Emir over time. So that was the beginning of the advent that led to the Yorubas losing. I repeat, that was the beginning of the end for the Yorubas having ownership of Kwara State. So when you look at all these situations happening now, the same thing is happening. During then, it was a community. They came to fight. Now it's a country. The Biafrans are saying, no, we don't believe in this thing. We want to go. Allow us to go. The Yorubas are saying, no, we have a partnership with the North. They want to come with Ruga. They want to come with ranches. And you know, say the Ruga, once they come with the Ruga, you are in trouble. It means they will not have a leeway to come to your community. Eventually, once they build a ranch in your states, it means they now have a place to create a fort or a fortress, a place they will now abode to spring in attack or spring out attacks going forward. And also, we are now hearing about the Islamization of Nigeria. And again, the offsprings of Abdul Salami, the offsprings of Alemi, and some of the offsprings of Afonja, they are in agreement with this Islamization policy, because deep inside they are already rooted in Islam. So to them, they are nonchalant, because they believe, say, if the whole Nigeria becomes a Muslim country today, then go love them now. It will be a good thing, according to them. So to the real Yorubas out there who are Christians, because right now, the way I'm looking at it, from my own point of view, it is now 60-40 for the Yoruba side. 60% Muslims, 40% Christians. So to the Yorubas, this mistake, don't allow the seed, the bloodline of Afonja mess una up. Because I see what is going on there, and now then, because the Igbo, this so-called nonsense happening, they are the ones in support of politics to blackmail the Igbos to come with tribalism, not the real Yorubas. The real ones, they are people with culture. They respect their culture, they love their neighbors, and they respect themselves. I repeat, the real Yorubas that I know, they respect their culture. They uphold the tenets of their culture. They are good neighbors and they respect themselves. But what we are seeing now, from my own vantage point, the nonsense we are seeing happening, especially in Lagos, it started from the year 1999, when a foreigner, a man we saw his Guinea passport, when a foreigner became the governor of Lagos. He was in deep shock, seeing how the Igbos and Yorubas, the Hausa, the Calabar, Ibibio, Delta, everybody, they were living in harmony in Lagos. Then they married themselves. They chopped their food. Okay, to an extent, the Igbos and the Yorubas, they were marrying more. They married themselves more. It meant nothing. When you see the Igbo girl and Yoruba man, they marry, it is normal. No eyebrow is being raised. I was there when a Yoruba girl was marrying an Igbo boy. They call me a prince then. And that the wedding was amazing. They combined the traditional wedding. I was in a touch of the Yoruba side and a touch of the Igbo side. We were children then. We were part of those that came to sing in that traditional whatever. I was mesmerized seeing the glamour, the beauty of Ishiagu from one area, Ashoeke on the other side, the dressing from the Igbo side, from the Yoruba side, a beautiful melting pot. Everybody was happy, enjoying all the whole food, the amalao, oferiro, ewedu, shaki, edo. We were eating everything. Obe for, obe ila, ewedu, you name it, fuku, shaki. We they chop everything. It is normal. It became our staple. In fact, your daily food staple was those ones. There was no tribalism until 1999. until 1999. I know why I'm speaking about 1999. And suddenly, this same man will bring the problem in Lagos is now your president in Nigeria, and he's reflecting the same attitude from the center as the president of Nigeria. So to the Yorubas, your problems are not the Igbos. The good ones, so your problems are not the Igbos. They are saying the Igbos don't buy all the whole land for Lagos State. That's madness. The Igbos who are into trade, it only makes sense that they will have money to buy real estate and build their businesses or house or homes or whatever. But the average Igbo man in Lagos State don't have those kind of money that those businessmen are having. They do their 9 to 5 the same way you are working your 9 to 5. So why will you, as a gentleman, a Yoruba man or woman, doing your 9 to 5 work, why you going to put your eyes for the eye of a businessman, an Igbo businessman who is into billions of naira business investment? It doesn't make sense. It is not fair. You are putting yourself at an unfair disadvantage because there is no criteria to weigh the two of them up, to compare. Because those who are into business, they are bound to make what they call abnormal profit. The profit they make in 1 month might be the money you will make in 10 years working your 9 to 5. I don't care what job you are doing. If you are working in the bank, oil company, teacher, whatever. Any job you are doing 9 to 5, sometimes the money the businessmen make in a day can pay for you what you make in 1 year. So this thing called tribalism and all this problem didn't start from the real Yorubas. No. In Lagos. It came when some foreigners came to hijack the government of Lagos. And in the process, they were in shock, in a dilemma to see the harmony of the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Middle Belt, the Hausa, the Calabar. Even in those days, the Calabars were there, they were active, but now, they have relegated the Calabars to be nobody. But during those days, you hear people with them, Etebe, and Edo. Those guys were Calabar names back then. They were active too in Lagos. They were your councillors during those days in Lagos. So something strange happened, and it is repeating itself to the Yorubas. Remember what happened in the case of Afonja. He ended up losing not only his community, but a state to the caliphate. So when FFK, Femi Fani-Kayode, is saying, the Southwest, we have a partnership, an everlasting partnership with the North. Be careful of such men. Because that same man, when they say partnership, he didn't go to marry a Fulani woman. No. He went to the eastern region to marry the most beautiful amongst us. Our women, when they char like popopo, those ones when they fresh, those ones when yellow like pancake. Now those ones when him go marry to have his children. That tells you where his mind is. To them, it is politics. They're doing it just to be politics. No. The end justifies the means, because in the long run, today, Kogi is gone. Kogi. One time, there is a man known as Bukola Saraki, who hails from where? Kogi, na Yoruba name. Bukola, na Yoruba name. Saraki, okay, it is 50-50. A Muslim Yoruba name. But today, Kogi State now don't move. The Kabal don't sign and say, okay, this one now is ours. The last governor was who? Yaya Bello. Kogi State is gone now. So now this Kwara State, to you guys, it must be the front line. Do not lose Kwara State. Keep your eyes on Kwara State. Fight as much as you can to hold on to Kwara State. Because if you lose Kwara State, then you have given them a leeway to enter Oyo. From Oyo, they go enter Ogun. From Ogun, now we know say there is IDP camp already in Ogun State. We know that already. But if they can't settle for Ogun, from Ogun, they go through the back door to Lagos State. The place like Oshun, Ondo go dey easy. But they won't follow that line from Kaduna to Kogi, Kogi to Kwara, Kwara, Oyo, Ogun, they come loop am, enter from Lagos. Hey, once they do that one, my brother, my hands no damn. My hands no damn. The Igbos are not your problems. The Igbos that they are appointed in Lagos, they are into trade. They are tradesmen. They buy and sell. You doing your 9 to 5. Don't compare yourself with somebody who is a business person. It makes no sense. It will only cause envy, jealousy, anger, and hatred. The way I am now, I will never compare myself with the children of Bill Gates, the children of Elon Musk, and the rest of them. Why? Because their parents are multi-billionaires. So if they're into business, why should I compare myself with them? There is no way I could be on their level, because I understand. So okay, this one, so their father, is already rich. You see, so the same thing. Don't be comparing yourself with the Igbos in Lagos that are into business. Those ones, they are into business. They are bound to make what they call abnormal profit in economics, or super profit. That's their world. They have the money to splash. They have the money to burn. But the normal Igbo guy is doing their 9 to 5. They don't have such money. So when they say the Igbos, what did they have bought over Lagos. No. Looking at the businessmen, they have the money to do what they have to do. If there is no seller, then there is no buyer. Unless you are saying, okay, going forward from this year, do not sell your land to the Igbos. From this year, do not sell your businesses to... Fine. That can be a hidden, policy from you guys. No wahala, do them. But don't compete yourself. Don't compete with those guys. You will only be hurting yourself for no reason. But your politicians want you to do that. So before we go, let's take it back to our brother here. When he speak to the Yoruba Muslim, because to me, now the Yoruba Muslims be the problem. Now they are saying no genocide for Nigeria against the Christians. Now that be the problem. So if you are ready, make we hear again the words of wisdom from our guy, our very good guy. Make we hear them. Listen, very, very good one.
And the pagan.
Listen.
Why is Ilorin a Muslim? Why does Ilorin have emir? If Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, if Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, how did the Yoruba people lose Ilorin to Islam, to the Islamists? Why is there an emir in it? Okay, it is long ago. Oh yeah, give us Ilorin back. If it is long ago, remove your emir from Ilorin. Why is the emir still in Ilorin? Don't we know that Ilorin is Yoruba land? Why is your emir still there? Can you remove your emir from Ilorin, please? After you tried to kill us in Southwest 2 times, you tried to exterminate us, we defeated you in battle. You are not using our victory against you that subdued you. You Yoruba traitors that went with Afonja and the Muslims. Do you want me to tell you your stories, Yoruba Muslims? Do you want to know your story?
Tell them.
That you are the ones that went with Afonja, fought behind Afonja with the Muslims to try and destroy Yoruba land on behalf of Islam and Northerners that you all gather here today. Oh, Muslims will gather around and be saying, we want to remove ourselves from Northern. When you are the people that brought Islam into our lives, try to kill us
God
and steal everything we have for the Northerners, you Yoruba Muslims, who are Yoruba Muslims, not like the Northern Muslims, because you kicked your ass. We beat the living daylight out of you. We beat you very well. That till today, Eli misbehave.
Benny.
We beat you very well. That's why Yoruba Muslims cannot misbehave. They were dealt with. They understand what it means to try and fuck with us over here.
Wow.
We dealt with them. That's why you don't do anything. Don't act like you are better than the Northern Muslims. You're not better. You just don't have the clout. You don't have the power. You don't have the numbers to play that your game here. So Yoruba Muslims, be quiet while I'm talking to your Northern brothers. You are the same as them. Go to Ilorin and see the way you behave there. Go go to Ilorin, they're cutting people's hair. These people, they just cut your hair on the street. Say because you have afro. Why would you have afro? Islam is a problem. We have to address it. Anyway, let me read from the Quran. So not from the
Hold
Quran.
on there, my brother. You've spoken very, very well. I really appreciate you. I know your father is a great man, and definitely you are the seed of your father. I really appreciate you. Don't forget what they did to your dad. You know, those military men as well. The Islamic military men. Don't forget what they did to your dad. We really appreciate you, my brother. You've spoken well. My people, I will leave it here. For those who ain't get ear, make una hear. For those who ain't get ear, make una hear. No more talk.
Yeah, check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Logan, Bloomington, Lord Logan, and it's Wild Flora Show. 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation, ever since annihilation. Nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Oduduwa, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now. Yeah.